Yeah, welcome everyone. The Marijuana Times show for December 28th, 2017. I'm your host, Joe Klare. You can find these videos at marijuanatimes.org along with some of the great articles by some great writers, marijuanatimes.org. You can also search the Marijuana Times on Facebook and YouTube to find these videos. And of course, if you use Apple Podcasts, if you want an audio version of the show, search Apple Podcasts for the Marijuana Times. And you will find the audio podcast. A lot of great stuff to talk about today. New promotional thing from Jack in the Box. You may have seen. We'll talk about that. Targeting the stoner community, if you will, which is a good place to target it for Jack in the Box. Also, marijuana use during pregnancy, and we'll update you on the elderly couple that was busted with the 60 pounds of marijuana that they claimed were for Christmas gifts. First, of course, I'm going to tell you, the Marijuana Times show is brought to you by NatureSideCannabis.com. Check out NatureSideCannabis.com and their line of organic, all-natural pesticides. They are approved for use in the cultivation of marijuana by the Colorado, Washington, and Oregon State Agriculture Departments. If you are a cannabis cultivator, what you want is NatureSideCannabis.com. You want to grow safe cannabis. You also want to pass regulations in whatever state you're in. You want to be regulatory compliant. NatureSideCannabis.com can help you do all of that. NatureSideCannabis.com, a proud sponsor of the Marijuana Times show. This first story is from MaryJane.com. Jack in the Box partners with Mary Jane to launch the Mary Munchie deal, according to Scott Chung, Chief Operations Officer of Mary Jane. He said launching the Mary Munchie deal, the Munchie meal, rather, is the perfect way for both companies to celebrate legalization in our shared home state of California. Mary Jane is the industry leader in bringing mainstream brands and legal cannabis culture. Let me scroll up here. I think that I scrolled down too far. There we go. West Coast fast food leader, Jack in the Box. Let me start over. This joining forces with media company Mary Jane. They will launch a campaign in January that commemorates the legalization of recreational cannabis in California with a limited edition Mary Munchie meal in select locations. It will be infused. The Mary Munchie meal will be infused with the most craveable and snackable products that Jack in the Box has to offer, including half-C's, which is half curly fries, half onion rings. Also, 2 of the brand's famous tacos, 5 mini churros, and 3 crispy chicken strips, plus a drink, all for the very special price of, you guessed it, $4.20. So, as other people have pointed out, this is a good, even if it's obvious, the tongue-in-cheek targeting of the stoner community, but it helps in the mainstreaming of cannabis, whatever normalizes cannabis use in the minds of people and promotes cannabis use as the harmless thing that it is. It highlights the fact that people are going to get high and go to Jack in the Box and they're going to eat and nobody's going to be hurt. And that's the whole point. So people who are for legalization, support legalization, have been saying for a long time. So if you're out west, Southern California, well, be on the lookout at Jack in the Box for your Mary Munchie meal. This next story comes to us from Forbes.com. Marijuana use during pregnancy. Here's how much it has risen. Apparently there was a study by the Kaiser Permanente researchers. It was a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Found that marijuana use among pregnant women in the Kaiser Permanente, Northern California, has been rising substantially. The study found that from 2009 to 2016, by the way, these are laboratory results from 279 and 457 pregnant women over an 8-year period. They found that from 2009 to 2016, marijuana use rose from 4.2 to 7.1% for all pregnant women. The jump is significantly greater for those under 25. Those under 18, it jumped from 12.5% to 21.8%. And those aged 18 to 24, it jumped from 9.8 to 19%. It's not exactly surprising. The author goes on to point out that there's insufficient research and it may not be a good idea. Here's the thing that struck me while I was reading this story is the fact that a doctor will prescribe deadly, addictive opioid painkillers to a woman well into her third trimester. They have no problem going right up to birth, prescribing opioids. And nobody seems to have a problem with that. But there seems to be there's some kind of problem or stigma attached to marijuana. We don't know what it'll do, so on and so forth. Well, can it be more harmful to a fetus than opioid painkillers? I don't know. I don't see how that's possible. But there's a problem with one, and there's not a problem with the other. You see that story at Forbes.com. By the way, as I always say, all these stories are linked in the description of this video. Last but not least, from FoxNews.com, you may remember the story of the elderly couple we talked about. I guess it was probably last week, maybe earlier this week. I'm not sure. In any case, there's an update on the elderly couple who was busted in Nebraska last week with 60 pounds of marijuana, who they said were going to be Christmas presents. They've been identified as the parents of a Vermont prosecutor who has handled some of the state's most high-profile cases. Patrick Giron, 80, and Barbara, 70, of Clear Lake Oaks, California, were arrested on December 19th in York after police found weed in the back of their pickup truck. The Burlington Free Press later identified them as the parents of Justin Giron, who is the Chittenden County Chief Deputy State's Attorney. State Attorney Sarah George, who is Justin's boss, said Justin is no way connected to this allegation other than by relation. He's been a public servant for over 15 years, and I assure you he is as surprised and upset about these allegations as anyone. You would think the parents of a well-known prosecutor would know. Well, you can't go around with 60 pounds of marijuana, even if they are Christmas presents. Apparently, Giron has worked on some of Vermont's most high-profile cases during his career, including the prosecution of a man who abducted, raped, and murdered a University of Vermont senior, and another man who went on a shooting spree in Essex that left 2 dead, according to the Burlington Free Press. Justin, of course, loves his parents and is concerned about their welfare, George added. However, he is extremely disappointed in their behavior and the actions as reported by the media outlets. George also said Justin will continue working at the office. Police found 60 pounds of pot and several containers of concentrated THC during the arrest, estimated to be worth more than $300,000. But again, they were only Christmas presents. We reported last week that apparently the mom is not going to be charged. The woman's not going to be charged, the wife, because of medical issues. So I guess she'll be held, she's not held in custody, but I guess they're going to keep an eye on her in jail. But apparently they're going to go after the husband, who is 80, and as I pointed out last week, probably is not that worried about it. I probably wouldn't be. If I were 80, just trying to brighten up somebody's Christmas. That's all they were doing. Thanks, everybody, for watching the Marijuana Times show for December 28th, 2017. Share, like, comment. Thank you to all those of you who do out there, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or from marijuanatimes.org or anywhere else you find these videos. Thank you to NatureSideCannabis.com, a proud sponsor of the Marijuana Times show. Go check them out, NatureSideCannabis.com, all natural organic pesticides. If you want to sponsor the show, info@marijuanatimes.org. Shoot us an email. We'll see you next time, everyone. Thanks for watching and thanks for watching the Marijuana Times show.